because I'm about to let you know. Stick to your budget, you know your pace. Invested in the market, you know what you can make. Keep your dough safe, that's only if you serious about these money issues. Do you wanna know how to make your money grow? Do you wanna know? New age money makers, you know it's in you. Make this paper, you know who to speak to. Make your money grow. It's for the future, it's that simple.
Hello, and thank you so much for joining me. Today we're going to be taking a look at 3 different aspects of capital.
Hey mums, capital, that's just a fancy name for money, right?
Absolutely. Firstly, let's take a look at startup capital. That's the capital that you need to start your business. Do you remember how we calculated the startup capital you needed, Joe?
Of course I do. We just added up all my expenses for the first month.
That's right. We based our calculations on you selling 40 bags of vegetables. We looked at the vegetables you would have to buy and the plastic bags for packaging. We also looked at the money you would need for advertising and the salary that you wanted to pay yourself. And don't forget the 100 Rand loan repayment you'd have to make.
But I didn't have to pay for anything like rent or new equipment or anything like that.
No, your business was small, so you didn't need to worry about a lot of stuff. But in the future, let's say you decide to open a green grocer in a new shopping center. What startup capital would you need then?
We went through all of that in the last lesson, didn't we?
We certainly did. Let's take another look at that flowchart we were using. We can use the flowchart to help us make a list of all the things we'll need to think about. Ready?
Ready.
All right. So firstly, you would need money to pay for the business license and ownership agreement.
You have to keep it legal, right?
Absolutely. Next, you would need to investigate the cost of renting, leasing, or purchasing premises. It's like they say in the real estate industry, it's all about position, position, position.
Of course, you've got to find a spot where customers are going to want to come to, right? It's got to be convenient, otherwise nobody's going to want to buy from you.
Exactly. But remember that the better the position of the premises, the higher the rent will be. It is also important that you negotiate a good rate of rental and for a good period of time. You don't want to be forced to move out of your premises after a short time.
Okay, I'm with you 100%, but what is a normal renting period?
A 1 or 2 year lease is normal. So once you've got your business premises, you need to start furnishing them and buying an equipment you might need. What kind of equipment do you think you'd need, Joe?
Let me think. I'd need some long tables to arrange my fruits on with baskets for all the different fruit and veggies. What else? Oh yes, I need to get baskets or trolleys for my customers to put their shopping into. I'd also need fridges for some of the fruit that goes off quickly. I'd need a cash register, of course, to do all the maths, and some nice big boards to put the prices up. You know, like the boards that they have at school. That would be so cool.
Is that all?
Let me think. Shopping trolleys, fridges, cash register, blackboard, baskets. Yeah, I think that's all.
What about things to keep the area clean and tidy?
Okay, so I need some cleaning up stuff like mops and brooms, some soaps, a bin to throw away all the cabbage leaves.
And what about stuff for your office?
How can I forget about my office? Okay, I'll need an office desk and chair, a computer with all that accountancy software on it, stationery so I can write letters and stuff, a telephone so I can phone my wholesalers and my customers and stuff, and that's about it.
What about a truck to deliver and collect your fruit and vegetables?
A truck, of course. How can I forget about that? Good thinking, mums.
I'm sure that there are many other things that we could think of, but let's just settle with the basic stuff for now.
Okay, so I've got all my equipment and furniture and stuff. What's next?
Next, we'll need to work out how many people you are going to employ to help you in your business.
Of course, yes, because I can't run that whole business on my own.
No, exactly. You will need people to manage stock, to keep your office records, to help your customers, and to operate the cash registers. You will need to draw up job descriptions for each employee and work out the salary that you will pay each of them. This will need to be added to your startup capital.
Sure, I can see this is going to be quite expensive.
You must also make sure that you work out the salaries for the entire time that you will be operating your business, until you have calculated that you will break even and start making a profit.
Sure, so that's a magic moment, right? When I start making some juicy profits.
Exactly. Next, you will need to buy your stock, all the fruit and vegetables that you will be selling. The money that you make from selling your first stock can be used to buy future stock. Don't forget that you may need to add delivery charges to the stock that gets delivered to your store.
But if I bought a truck, then I wouldn't have to pay for my deliveries.
That's true, Joanna. Good thinking. Now, our last expense on the list is for advertising. Now I know that you're good at drawing, so you might be able to make your own adverts. But you could also hire a professional to do this for you, although it will cost you more.
And what about the sign for my store? You know, the one that says Joanna's fresh fruit and veggies in flashing lights.
That's also included in this section.
Cool, so is that it then?
That's it. We can see how the list of things you'll need to spend money on has really grown. Now we can see why it's so important to do a marketing and financial feasibility study and draw up a business plan before you start your business.
Yep, I can see that. Imagine trying to work out all of this stuff as you go along. Whew, it would be really difficult.
It would be impossible, but let's take a closer look at our list. You see that if we look at all the items and the subsections, it starts to look very messy and not well organized. And in the business world, everybody hates a mess. So now we're going to sort it all out. Capital requirements are divided in two different sections. The first is fixed capital, and the second is operating or working capital.
I see. So what's the difference between fixed capital and working capital?
It's very simple. You see, fixed capital is the money that you require to buy buildings, machinery, tools, and equipment. These are all things that will be used over a long period.
Okay, so fixed capital are permanent things, so these never get used up.
Exactly. Now, working capital, which is sometimes called operating capital, is the money that you use to keep your business working. It's like the fuel that your business runs on. It's the money needed to pay salaries, to replace stock, to pay water and electricity, your telephone bill, and advertising.
Okay, so working capital is what you need to keep your business operating. That's pretty easy, eh?
It is easy, isn't it? All right, now let's go through your list again and see which items are fixed capital needs and which are working capital needs. Do you want to do it, Joe?
Okay, so the business license is paid once and it is an expense. So it will go to fixed capital.
That's correct. What about renting a business premise?
Okay, renting a building is money that you pay every month. So that would be working capital.
Well done. How about furniture?
Furniture. Okay, well, you only buy furniture once and you can use it for a long time. So that would be fixed capital.
Correct again. Next, what about fittings and equipment?
Fittings and equipment. Okay, they're the same as furniture because you can keep on using them, so that would be fixed capital again.
How about wages and salaries?
You need to pay those every month, so they're definitely working capital.
And advertising?
Advertising, definitely a working capital item. You're going to have to pay it every month to keep advertising.
Correct. And finally, would a truck be a fixed capital or working capital item?
Well, you can keep using it again and again and again, so it's definitely a fixed capital item.
Congratulations, you are 100% correct. Now you can see that our list is much more organized and we can clearly see what your fixed capital and working capital requirements would be. Well done.
Great, but now how does dividing the capital like this actually help us out, Mampo?
Let's say your fixed capital requirements added up to 20,000 Rand and your working capital requirements added up to 5,000 Rand a month. How much startup capital would you need if you calculated that you would break even after 5 months?
Easy. Okay, 20,000 Rand for my fixed capital plus 5 times 5,000 Rand for my working capital. That would give me 45,000 Rand. So I would need 45,000 Rand startup capital.
Exactly. You can see that the fixed capital is only required once, but the working capital will be required for 5 months.
Except if I wanted to expand my business, like say for example, I want to buy another truck or something.
Good point. If you did want to expand, then you're absolutely right. You would need more capital.
Can't wait for that, mums. Ciao, ciao.
But that's all we had time for today. Ho fihlela re kopana hape ba heso. Hai phaphathwe.